Hello guys, welcome to my channel once again, where we make videos that cover all you need to know about medical doctors and medical students. If you're new to this channel, you can subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss videos which I release twice weekly. And to my returning subscribers, you guys are great. I really appreciate what you keep on doing, coming over and over again, and I'll keep getting better. As you can see, look at the background, it's no longer as dry as before again. And this rhymes with a very important topic I'm discussing with you about today, and it's on 10 reasons why you should marry a medical doctor. Okay, forget the taste. There are doctors that will do better than this, but we're starting gradually. So let's make the mood a bit more romantic. You understand? I had done a previous video where I talked about 5 reasons why we don't make great spouses. But then in today's video, I'm talking about why you should marry us. That's twice the reason why you shouldn't. So I think it's a good idea you should do that. Don't allow the previous video to discourage you from doing that. I hope you get convinced, especially if you're someone that's contemplating. And this will encourage those that really want to go out for it. And then it will discourage those that don't want to get married to us. I hope I convinced you enough. So let's dive into today's video. Research has shown that doctors have one of the most stable marriages ever, and they rank highly alongside clergies and farmers. And that's why you should consider settling down with a medical doctor, because you know that, especially if you're going after a stable marriage, who doesn't want a stable marriage? The first reason why you should get married to us is that, come on, doctors are intelligent. Yeah, we're very intelligent. An average doctor's IQ is ranked higher than an average adult's IQ. Even the average doctor is somewhat more intelligent than an average adult. Apart from that, the benefits of intelligence can be that you could have intelligent conversations with us when it comes to decisions too. Intelligence come to play an important role in it. Down the video, you get to see the other aspects that intelligence come to play a part also. Studies have also shown that there's a positive impact to your health if you marry someone that's intelligent. So it benefits you in many ways. And then it's proven again that intelligence is genetic. So children being given birth to by intelligent parents are likely to be intelligent too. So marry a doctor. The next reason is financial security. Doctors have at least a decent paying job. We may not be rich, super rich, and that's attainable if you and your spouse have a great deal of financial discipline and financial intelligence. You could use the money, the decent money that your spouse and you are earning to grow something big. The richest doctors in the world are billionaires. So you can see that those that intend to do well in it. And you could teach your children to grow a dynasty so far as you have that. But know that an average doctor's pay is decent. So if you're not extravagant in your expenditure, you would be able to take care of not just your needs, but your wants. You'll be able to take care of yourself and even some of the dependents on you, especially from the part of the world I come from where we have a lot of dependents. That's another benefit you should get married to a doctor too. You would have at least something to take care of yourself. The next reason you should marry a doctor is that doctors are compassionate. Our job deals with compassion. Without compassion, a doctor will be a very bad doctor. So what drives us? And forget those, there are always exceptions to this rule, but an average doctor really cares about his patients, not just his job. And it's not just compassionate in their jobs. Whatever they care about, they show that degree of compassion too. We score very high in extroversion and very low in neuroticism, and that also helps our compassionate qualities generally. You would have a spouse that isn't self-absorbed, but someone that genuinely cares about you and genuinely cares about the family too. Our job requires us to be compassionate, and that extends into our homes too. The next reason you should marry a doctor is that doctors have very good problem-solving skills, and this is also linked to a doctor's intelligence. But then our job also requires that we solve problems. Anytime I sit down in the consulting room, the first question I ask a patient that comes in after greeting is, what is the problem today? We deal with problems every blessed day. Whether they are stable problems or emergency problems, that's our job. We fix problems health-wise. And as compassion too, we tend to extend that to our homes too. And life is burdened with a lot of problems. So imagine you having a partner side by side you that has very good sense of problem solving skills. That will go a long way for you guys. You'll be able to make a lot of progress in life. And they are likely to do it also in very calm and composed manners, because we actually learn this in the course of our job. So imagine you come with a very serious illness and the doctor is fidgeting. You tend to lose confidence in that. But then, even if the thing seems big, we're being trained to be able to make you calm down, and we can't make you calm down if we're panicky. That extends to our homes too. We don't only solve problems, but we solve them very calmly. This should make you consider us. The next reason you should marry a medical doctor is that, as the name implies, medical doctors, you have someone that is there for you in case of medical emergencies, irrespective of the time and irrespective of the type of attention you need at home. You have a spouse that will always be there for you. So whether it's 3 a.m. in the morning, you know that your spouse is there to handle this. We can be able to at least apply first aid. We even go further than that. We'll be able to start doing the initial treatment before you're being moved to the hospital. But also note that an average doctor still wouldn't substitute his treatment for the family members with going to the hospital. So in the long run, we still will tell you to go to the hospital. So if you're expecting to boycott the hospital, no, that's not it. But then when you really need us in terms of medical emergencies, we're always there. If you can't take care of our family, then what's the point? The next reason you should consider marrying us is that doctors are disciplined. And this also has to do with our job. Our job requires a great degree of discipline because it involves human lives. So we are accountable to a lot of bodies. Apart from the hospital bodies, we also have a medical board that oversees everything. And whenever you're found guilty of a very serious offense or malpractice, you could lose your license. So doctors are very careful. And because of our human factor and how susceptible we are to making mistakes, we are accountable to each other. Doctors have teams, and there are other health workers that work side by side you to ensure that you discharge your duties or you deliver. This discipline also translates to family too. So it rubs off on you somewhat. You too would become likely more disciplined, and the children too will be raised in a very disciplined way. This should be another reason you should consider us too, if you want to go far. The next reason you should consider marrying a doctor, or you should marry a doctor, is that doctors tend to be committed in their relationships. Now, from Nigeria, where I come from, this is going to raise a few eyebrows, but then doctors tend to be committed in their relationships. Where they find value, they are committed. Right from med school, for a doctor to graduate and qualify to become a medical doctor, he or she had to develop a generous degree of commitment, because many times we are not free to attend some of the fun activities. We're always reading, we're always busy, we're in the hospital, and this continues even during practice. You might not be as free, especially if you're doing the residency program. So it's a degree of commitment that we tend to extend even into our relationships. Studies have shown that most doctors are in committed relationships and marriages. So if you want a spouse that is really committed to your relationship, if you want a spouse that is really committed to your marriage, the doctor is one of the best choices you can make ever. The next reason you should marry a doctor is that we make great parents. Apart from character-wise, based on the qualities that I had earlier mentioned, we also are role models to our children professionally too. It's no wonder that a lot of doctors' children tend to be medical doctors too. And it stems from the degree of admiration they have for their parents. However, this is changing now because of some of the issues that are happening in the medical profession. Many doctors are now not as enthusiastic into encouraging their children to practice medicine. We tend to be the kind of people that our children will look up to. The next reason is something that might not really be popular especially in this our modern society, but it's something that is very important, and that's you learn patience. As a doctor's spouse, it means that your spouse wouldn't be around most of the time due to the demanding nature of our jobs. And you have to learn to go through a lot of things alone. Please, this is not to excuse doctors. Try to be around for your spouses, try to be around for your children as often as you can. But many times, even with our willingness, we are not usually around. And it's one of the reasons why I say we shouldn't marry a doctor, because even if we happen to be home, many times we might be very tired or might be very busy that wouldn't really have quality family time per se. And this in turn tends to help our spouses, especially the very understanding ones, to develop some degree of patience, which helps you too. Patience is a very important quality that's been underestimated or being written down in this society. Patient people are very tough people. It doesn't mean that you should allow yourself to be exploited. It doesn't mean that you should encourage insensitivity. Normally it's a phase. There will be a point in time that the doctor will be available, especially when we qualify as specialists. We tend to determine what we do with our free time. Although in the part where I come from, many doctors, even after becoming specialists, might need to add some few hustles just to be able to foot the bill properly. That would also keep them away. This might be painful, but in the long run, it's worth it. Then the last reason, which might seem flimsy, but it's very important, is that somewhat our reputation rubs off on you too. It doesn't mean that you don't do anything to make a name for yourself or a reputation for yourself, but then they say two heads are better than one. And someone modified it to be that two correct heads are better than one. So imagine you're doing well as an individual and then your spouse also is doing well professionally. There's no place that a medical doctor will be mentioned and then people will just tag that to failure. As a medical doctor's spouse, it tends to rub off on you. Especially from the part of the world I come from, somewhat you have a spouse that has character and also has a very good public image, and that also helps you too in terms of your public image and self-confidence. So this doesn't mean that you shouldn't pursue your own and rely on your spouse's own, but even if you have yours, in addition to this goes a long way too. So that's all for today's video. What do you think about the video? I hope I was able to convince you enough. If you have any reservation, if you felt there was something I didn't mention, please let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to share it with as many people as possible, especially people that are contemplating marrying doctors. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Let me know your comments. I'll respond to all the comments as quickly as I can. Thank you and see you in the next video.